Hey guys, today I'm going to be showing you how to properly adjust the chain on a 821 Hypermotard, Hyperstrada, Hypermotard SP. They're all basically the same procedure. Only difference between the Strada and the Hypermotard is the chain tension is a little bit different because of a slightly different ride height. But it's pretty straightforward. Let's dive into it. Okay, first thing you want to do is you want to find the tightest point of the chain. So the Hyperstrada has a center stand, which makes it easy to do and easy to spin. The Hypermotard does not. So if you're doing this on a Hypermotard, you can just roll it back and forth until you find the tight point on the chain. I already seem to find it is about here. So when you're measuring the tension of the chain, it's important to have it on the side stand so that the suspension is loaded up. So I've got it on the center stand right now. Let's put it onto the side stand and then we can measure. Okay, now we've got the bike on the side stand. This suspension is loaded up. Where you want to measure from, hopefully you can see, is this little knob sticking out here. You want to put your tape measure beside that, right up against the swing arm, and then measure down to the middle of the chain. Before we measure, just lightly push down on the chain a little bit to set it in place. Put your tape measure right beside this little knob and measure to the center. The Hyperstrada has a tension between 59 and 61 millimeters. It even says it on the sticker there. The Hypermotard and Hypermotard SP is slightly different. It's 72 to 74 millimeters. And if you do have the Hyperstrada with the low seat option, which this is not, it's 57 to 59 mil. So I'm looking for somewhere between 59 and 61. So let's take a look. So now I can take it off. So I'm going to keep it on the side stand for this. I'll put it on the center stand when I clean and lube the chain, but I can keep it on the side stand. We're going to come back to here, and we're going to have to loosen off both of these bolts. So let's get a wrench. Okay, so these are a 14 mil socket or wrench. Doesn't matter what order you do it. You might need some extension to get at it. You could also get at it with a wrench and maybe put another wrench on the end to get a bit more leverage. They're torqued down to 31 Newton meters, so they shouldn't be too tight. There we go. You don't have to completely loosen them off, just a little bit. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see in here, but there is a tooth the wheel, and you need to move that to tighten the chain. You can either use a flathead screwdriver and a hammer or a mallet, or there is a specific tool that works for it as well, which I'll show you that. So this is the tool I use to adjust it. This is actually for adjusting coilover suspension, but I shaved down the end of it with a grinder a little bit so that it fits inside those teeth. Again, if you don't have this tool, you can do it with a hammer and a flathead screwdriver of some kind, but this just makes it a lot easier, and it reduces the risk of gouging up those teeth. So to tighten the chain, you want to put this tool on like this and rotate this way, rotate clockwise. To loosen it off, you put it like this and rotate counterclockwise. Again, same goes if you're using a screwdriver. So you just hook it on and rotate, and you'll see the chain tighten up. You don't need to do much to massively change the tension here. So I already moved it a little bit. Let's see what our tension looks like. Okay. So I moved it a little bit already, and I'm almost in spec. That looks like about 62 mil. Again, remember my spec is 59 to 61 mil for this, so I could go a little bit tighter. See what that looks like. It's about 60. I'm not going to go any tighter than that. So, in my experience, and you know, some people may have different opinions, but I tend to think that looser is better than tighter. I find that if you have a tighter chain, you know, maybe you didn't find the tight spot exactly right, and it's going to start binding up on your sprockets and prematurely stretch your chain and wear out your sprockets. So I'd rather have it a little bit loose. Gives you a little bit, and by that I mean on the looser range, but it gives you a little bit more room for error as far as like, did you find the actual tightest spot of the chain, and it's not going to damage your sprockets and prematurely wear your chain. So we've tensioned it to where we want. Now we just need to tighten these back up. Okay, so the torque spec for these is 31 Newton meters, which is 22 foot-pounds. The manual says to go in a 1-2-1 tightening pattern, so 1-2-1. So we'll tighten these back up, and then our chain tension will be set. After that, I'm just going to clean and lube the chain, just a little bit on that. Everyone's got their own favorite way to do it. What I've learned over the years is cleanliness is more important than lubrication. These new chains are getting really good. This is an expensive X-ring chain. So there's grease in these links, right? By over lubricating, you're actually attracting dirt and sand and road grip to the chain. It's going to stick on there and it could prematurely wear the O-rings. The main thing is you don't want those O-rings to wear out because they're already pre-lubed inside. These chains, especially some of the new ones, bigger chains, they say they can last 100,000 kilometers if you clean them properly. So for me, over clean it, under lube it. There's a lot of different ways you can clean it. Some people use WD-40. There's some specific cleaners. I know Motul makes one. So clean it with whatever, a toothbrush. There's some specific tools like the spiral teeth one that you can put on there. Obviously having the center stand helps a lot for that. And then after I've cleaned it, I'll just do a light wax on it. I like the wax because it doesn't spray all over the bike, although some people say it does attract a little bit more road grit, but I'll just do a light lubrication on it. The cleanliness is more important in my opinion. There's lots of videos on YouTube about this. I know Revzilla has some really good comparisons, as well as Fort9 as far as what are the best lubes and how much do they actually do. But anyway, let's get to tightening. Okay, all done. So that's it. Chain is tightened. Now I'm just gonna lubricate and clean it, and she's ready for the season. Thanks for watching, guys.